Hello students. Today's topic we are going to discuss regarding the revision topic of pulmonary stenosis. Next topic is pulmonary stenosis. So you know already very well pulmonary valve is found between the right ventricle and pulmonary artery, particularly where the pulmonary artery carries the blood from right ventricle towards the lungs. So the opening of the pulmonary artery is the valve, where the valve which has a three leaflets that function like one-way door. That function like one-way door, which allowing the blood to pass through the pulmonary artery, but not backflow towards the pulmonary artery to right ventricle. Okay, clear? Understood this one? So pulmonary valves are the one-way door which allows the blood to pass through the pulmonary artery but not pass away from the pulmonary artery towards the right ventricle. So with stenosis, problem with pulmonary valve make it harder for the leaflets to open. What is the stenosis? Stenosis is nothing but the one-way door. The door get obstructed. Door was too tight or stuck together. A door was not properly sized according to the opening. So due to this, what happened? The blood permits to flow forward towards the right ventricle to the lungs will be diminished, or it makes complicated to pass through. A valve that only has one or two leaflets. In this case, क्या क्या हो सकता है? A valve that has one or two leaflets instead of three. So जहाँ पे 3 होना था वहाँ पर सिर्फ 2 ही मौजूद है. Then a valve that has leaflets that are partially fused together. 3 valves are present but 2 valves एक दूसरे के साथ fused together. इसकी वजह से पूरा open नहीं हो पाएगा. The next, a valve that has thick leaflets that do not open all the way. A valve that has the door which is thicker one. So due to that, it is hard to open. Okay, so you can able to see here. So this is the pulmonary stenosis. This is the pulmonary stenosis. This is the normal one. You can able to see the valves are present here, where the valves are easily open and allowing the blood to pass through. Okay, easily open and allowing the blood to pass through. So it is easy for the blood to pass over in this area. Clear? So now what happened? Here if you are seeing in this area, you can see the leaflets are harder. The third option I have took. The leaflets are harder. So they are not opening properly. So only small opening is present here. So due to that, the blood can't able to pass through easily, or the sufficient amount of blood will not be reaching the lungs for purification. Okay. So that due to the stenosis, the pulmonary valve are not properly opened. So you can able to see here. This is exactly the pulmonary valve, the 3 leaflets which used to close the door. Which is to close the door in this spot. So by closing this one, they has to open back properly. If they fails to open back properly, that will allow us to not allowing the blood to pass through easily over this pulmonary artery. Clear? So this is the main concept about pulmonary stenosis. Next, we are moving on to the causes. So moving on to the causes, as usual, the first causes are main issue with these causes are unknown causes or idiopathic. We can't able to say what was the exact reason for it. But associated factor, but we can able to correlate with somebody where the causes are. This may be the reason. We can able to blame, or we can able to predict some assumptions over that fetal or maternal infections during first trimester. Particularly, you can able to say rubella or tetanus infection during the pregnancy time. Then maternal insulin dependent diabetes, one of the main reason, that is the tetragonic effect of drugs and alcohol. What happened here? By taking the alcohol, best example, the taking the alcohol will stimulate on the CNS. So due to that, at the same time they will act on the blood also. So due to this, the same effect will be transferring to the placenta towards the fetus also. So due to this, the fetus cells and the active management, everything will get that is mainly the CNS and everything will get drowsiness. At the same time, will be in a state of sleepy state where the cells can't able to actively participate in exchange of gases or receiving the oxygen or nutrition. They can't able to do it properly. So due to that, what happens, that directly will leads to delayed growth and development or affecting the growth and development of the child. Then chromosomal abnormality, trisomy 21, 18 and 13, where there is already mutation or defects of the genes are transferred. In those genes, not only single congenital defect, there will be multiple system congenital defect will be present in case of chromosomal abnormalities. Okay, so this may be some of the factors. Why pulmonary stenosis is a concern? Why this is a concern? Mild pulmonary stenosis may not cause any symptoms. Mild pulmonary stenosis may not cause any symptoms, but problems can occur when pulmonary stenosis is moderate to severe, including the following. So we'll see about in case of moderate to severe, what will be present. The right ventricle has to work harder to try to move blood through the right pulmonary valve. So first, the right ventricle has to work harder. Eventually, the right ventricle is no longer able to handle the extra workload because blood was not able to push to. So at the same time, blood will be coming continuously from the right atrium towards the right ventricle. Already that right ventricle fails to push back the blood, which is already what it is present in right ventricle. So due to this, what happens? Right ventricle will get extra workload. So the extra workload leads to fails to pump forward efficiently. So pressure build up in the right atrium and then in the veins, bringing blood back to the right side of the heart. So automatically that will leads to fluid retention and swelling may occur. So why the fluid retention and swelling is taking place? Because the right side the blood can't able to move further from the right ventricle towards the pulmonary artery. So due to this, excess pressure will be excreted in the right ventricle. So automatically backflow will result in right atrium. So automatically from the right atrium it will result in the veins. So blood can't able to pass through towards the right side of the atrium. That will lead to fluid retention and swelling may occur. Okay. Then there is a higher than average chance of developing an infection in the lining of the heart known as bacterial endocarditis. Bacterial endocarditis. So more frequent chances of infection from the respiratory tract that will lead to circulating the infection towards the circulation. One. Second one, we can able to see that due to the edema and enlargement, automatically the child not receiving sufficient amount of oxygen, the immune systems are getting diminished. So more risk for getting infections. Next, we are seeing critical PS in neonates. Critical PS in neonates. We can able to see that hypoxia is present. Then tachypnea and right ventricular failure. Then mild to moderate in older children. Initially there will be asymptomatic. No symptoms will be present, but decreased exercise tolerance will be identified by like child was climbing the stairs, getting tired soon. By running, getting tired soon. So shorter period of shorter distance. Cycling, getting tired soon. Lifting anything, can't able to lift or getting tired soon. They can't able to tolerate. Then fatigue. Then dyspnea. Then the child used to have chest pain. These are the signs and symptoms related to this one. Along with this, there may be variation in the ECG. Then chest X-ray. Chest X-ray indicates cardiomegaly, particularly the right ventricular hypertrophy is present. Then post-stenotic dilatation of pulmonary stenosis. If you are seeing right ventricular was enlarged, then after the pulmonary stenosis, where the stenosis is present, after that the size of the pulmonary artery was not clearly visible or they may be diminished. Post-stenotic dilatation is present. Then ECG or EKG normal in mild cases, but in case of right ventricular hypertrophy, it is moderate to severe cases. There will be elevations in the rhythm as well as the impulses or the functioning ability of the ventricles. The next echocardiogram echo visualize the site of obstruction, observe the degree of right ventricular hypertrophy, the pressure gradient across the valve. Everything we can able to easily identify. So next we are moving to the management. In case of management, if you are seeing, in case of management, neonates with critical pulmonary stenosis. Neonates with critical pulmonary stenosis, medical managements are PG E1, prostaglandin E1. Infusion will be given. Then incubation and ventilation. After that, intubation and ventilation. Then inotropic support are needed. Then ineffective endocarditis prophylaxis like antibiotics has to be followed. So here the medical management of PGE1, prostaglandin E1, this is going to help in case of acting on the blood vessels, particularly the pulmonary vessels where the door was too tight, which is not able to open. In those cases, this will become relaxed. The blood valves will be get relaxed and become flexible. So due to this, what happen in case of obstruction, the obstruction will remove. The obstruction will remove easily. So the valves used to open easily. So further they are using prostaglandin E1. The next, intubation and ventilation to provide sufficient oxygen supply for the child and for the survival rate of the child for the normal functioning. Then inotropic support such as needed. They are going to give supportive measures like digoxins. Then they are going to give the child antipyretics in case of fever, antibiotics. Then the child has to be supported with the respiratory functioning also. Then balloon, pulmonary valvuloplasty in case of obstruction. Then BT shunt, graft between the pulmonary artery and subclavian artery. A graft is done between the pulmonary artery where the pulmonary artery is present. Then from there, subclavian artery, the grafting will be done. So directly from the blood is bypassing directly towards the pulmonary artery from the subclavian artery directly towards the lungs. Next, child and adolescent with pulmonary stenosis. Medical management same as for the commonly for all the child, but close follow-up monitoring is then restrict strenuous exercise. Then balloon pulmonary valvuloplasty once again the same option in case of obstruction they are going to use here balloon pulmonary valvuloplasty. The next in case of surgery valvotomy or valvectomy for dysplastic pulmonary valve or patch repair of right ventricular outflow tract. Patch repair of right ventricular outflow tract will be done. So this is about valvulotomy or valvectomy, where the valve has to be exactly opened or the opening has to be done. Okay, or by dysplastic pulmonary valves has to be removed, as well as they are going to place some artificial one, or they can go for a patch repair where the patch has to be repaired directly and the connection is made directly. The valves will be directly closed, same like subclavian valves that will be directly connected with this one. So by this the exact problem will be solved out. So as per today's topic, we are related to pulmonary stenosis. Pulmonary stenosis means what? We had saw then pulmonary stenosis has three problems. Either have one or two leaflets, or one or two leaflets are fused together. Then two leaflets are fused together. Then the leaflets are thick, so they can't able to open. So they have become obstructed. Causes as usual. Then signs and symptoms, investigation, management. These are for different age group. In the next class, we see regarding the common nursing management for cardiovascular defects. Thank you.